हेलो एवरीवन, मैं आज बैलेंस शीट आप लोग को बताऊंगी ऑनलाइन क्लास प्लस के लिए। और यूट्यूब वीडियो है मेरा, आप लोग देख लेना। और अगर लाइव क्लास करना चाहते हो तो ऐप में रजिस्टर करके मेरे से लाइव क्लास इसके ऊपर और भी ज़्यादा फर्दर क्लास कर सकते हो। वैसे मैं थोड़ा सा शॉर्ट में एसेट्स एंड लायबिलिटीज क्या होता है, मेन चीज़ मैं बोल दे रही हूँ। मेरे को जो समझ में आ रहा है मैं आपको बता रही हूँ। अगर आपको मेरा क्लास अच्छा लगे तो आप प्लीज रजिस्टर करना। लाइव क्लासेस तभी हो सकता है उस ऐप में जाकर। Assets are economic resources of an enterprise that can be usefully expressed in monetary terms, and assets can be broadly classified into two types: current and non-current assets. Now, what is liabilities? Liabilities are obligations or debts that an enterprise has to pay at some time in the future. Balance sheet is a statement prepared for showing the financial position of the business, summarizing its assets and liabilities at a given date. Now, the asset reflects debit balances and liabilities, including capital, reflect credit balances. It is prepared at the end of the accounting period after the trading and profit and loss account, and it is called balance sheet. Why it is called balance sheet? Because it is a statement of balances of ledger accounts that have not been transferred, trading and profit and loss and account, and are to be carried forward to the next year with the help of an opening entry made in the journal at the beginning of the next year. So this is called balance sheet. Now, preparing balance sheet, all the we have to remember, we have to take into considerations while preparing balance sheet. All the accounts of assets, liabilities, and capitals are shown in the balance sheet. Accounts of capital and liabilities are shown on the left hand side and known as liability, and assets and other debit balances are shown on the right hand side known as assets. Now, there is no prescribed form of balance sheet for a proprietary and partnership firms. So these things you have to take into considerations. Now, balance sheet pro forma, how we have to, I'm giving you one question. With trial balance, show how the accounts of assets and liabilities of Ankit would be presented in the balance sheet. This is very easy. Here, what you have to do, first prepare the trial balance. The trial balance sum is given as for this sums. If you want to solve these sums, or if you want to practice at home, then online classes you can join me on the Classplus app. I will give you this question, very easy question. So first we prepare the trial balance, then after that we will prepare the balance sheet of Ankit as follows. That we will make the pro forma of liabilities, amount, assets and amount, and the one sum is given. For this sums you can contact me. Now comes explanation of equity and liabilities. So we always talk here in the balance sheet, equity and liabilities. Always we see this word equity and liabilities. So in our mind it strikes, what is equity and liabilities? So equity and liabilities, under this comes shareholders fund, number one, in equity and liabilities. Under shareholders fund, we have share capital, and number A, under this share capital, we have number and amount of shares of authorized, number of shares issued, subscribed and fully paid up, and subscribed but not fully paid up. Number 3, par value per share. Now, aggregate numbers and class of shares allotted as fully paid up for consideration other than cash. Aggregate number and class of shares allotted as fully paid up by way of bonus shares, and aggregate number of class of shares bought back. Number 4, all scenarios will be shown as a deduction from subscribed but not fully paid capital. Number 5, forfeited shares amount originally paid up. It is shown by adding it to subscribed capital. Now, preparing balance sheet and statement of profit and loss account. The pro forma for balance sheet for this we have to first write name of the company, then balance sheet as at, then form of balance sheet. Under this, we have to prepare the pro forma like this: particulars, note number, then figure as at the end of the current reporting period and figure as at the end of the previous reporting period like this. Now, under this particulars, we have to write number one, equity and liabilities, number two, equity and liabilities, then shareholders funds. Under shareholders funds, we have share capital, reserves and surplus, money received against share warrants, share application, money pending allotment. Number three, non-current liabilities. Under this non-current liabilities, we have long-term borrowings, deferred tax liabilities, other long-term liabilities, long-term provision. Now, number four, we have current liabilities. Under this, we have short-term borrowings, trade payables, other current liabilities, and short-term provisions. Then we will add total, we will add it over here. Next, again, assets. Under assets, we have non-current assets, fixed number B, number A, fixed assets. Under this fixed assets, we have number one, tangible assets, intangible assets, capital work in progress, intangible assets under development. Now, after fixed assets, we have non-current investment, then deferred tax assets, long-term loan and advances, other non-current assets. So we talked about assets of non-current assets. Number two is current assets. Now, under current assets, we have current investments, inventories, trade receivable, cash and cash equipment, short-term loans and advances, and other current assets. Now, after this, we will total it. Total the figure as at end of current reporting period and figure as at the end of the previous reporting period. So, this is the pro forma for the balance sheet. Preparing balance sheet and statement of profit and loss account in this way. Thank you.